What's up everyone, Alex here. Sword of Convallaria has been out for a little over a month by the time this video releases, and would you believe that there's already a brand new storyline being added to its single player mode for free? Thanks to its developers, I was able to play through this new storyline, as well as try out a couple of new characters that they've added. And let me tell you this new storyline is unlike anything you've played in the game so far. And before I share with you my thoughts and some gripes about it, I want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Sword of Convallaria. Sword of Convallaria is a free-to-play tactical RPG inspired by the greats like Tactics Ogre and Final Fantasy Tactics. And best of all, you can play its single-player mode, Spiral of Destinies, for free. I'll be linking a couple of videos at the end that will answer some of the other questions you may have about the game. But if what you're seeing here interests you, download Sword of Convallaria using the link in the description or the pinned comment to let them know that I sent you. This brand new storyline launches alongside the Sandmaid Scales event on September 13th, and participating in said event will let you acquire the beacon, the Other Side of Balance. Storylines in Sword of Convallaria are told through beacons, and you'll need this specific one to experience this new storyline. And each storyline features a new faction. We'll be learning about the Elaman in this new story. As I said before, this new storyline is nothing like the others you may have encountered in the game. That's because for the first time in the game's history, you'll be engaging in both combat and commerce. Yep, you heard that right. And it all starts with an Elaman merchant named Akambe. The premise starts simple enough. You'll encounter Akambe while in the middle of trying to quell the rising banditry in Convallaria. After successfully saving him and his caravan from bandits, he mentions that he's on a journey in search of new business opportunities. Thanks to his encouragement and know-how, you both established a Convallaria trading post, and it's your duty to not only make Convallaria a thriving and bustling commercial hub, but also uncover political and economic conflicts. And much like the other storylines in the game, your choices throughout will determine what kind of ending you'll get. As you play through this storyline, you'll unlock new trade routes, where you'll be able to send over goods and resources using caravans. If that trade route needs specific goods and you're able to fulfill them, you'll get a bonus in profit. And the more goods you send over, the more profitable the trade will be. The rewards for each trade vary greatly, and you'll even have the ability to choose from different wares to receive. Where the challenge lies is in not only maximizing the profitability of each trade, which ensures that you'll still have goods to trade for those who need them, but also making sure that your mercenary group is well maintained and able to guard said caravans. Because as news and popularity of the Convallaria trading post grows, you'll be subject to attacks from all sorts of factions. Before I talk about these battles, I also want to point out that there are urgent requests that need to be fulfilled to advance the main story. You're also able to send out other caravans to fulfill side requests, which can help you receive more goods and resources. These resources can help you make new gear at the forge, afford a trainer to level up members of your group, hire new mercenaries, as well as apply buffs to certain characters in preparation for the long journey ahead. Ultimately, I found my involvement with the new trading post gameplay to be easy to understand and engaging. I don't think I've ever played a tactical RPG that tried to tell a story through the lens of commerce, let alone one that successfully manages to weave in details that you may have encountered while playing through other storylines. In fact, it's been highly recommended that you play through the 3 storylines available in the game in order to fully appreciate this one. I also think that Sword of Convallaria is uniquely positioned to try something this bold, as I can't ever see any full-priced game deliver something as involving as what's been introduced in this update. I never would have expected that the first new storyline in the game would add an additional layer of complexity on top of what was already there, and what they made here is actually quite fun and easy to understand. With the mention of recommending players to go through the other storylines and the added commerce layer on top of the fundamental parts of the game, comes the fact that playing through this new storyline is quite challenging. Much like in other storylines, your mercenary group has its own level, which increases as the Convallaria trading post grows and thrives. That also means that because battles may not be as frequent, leveling up your individual characters might prove to be challenging. It's because of this that while some early battles in the storyline can be won handily, the difficulty increases dramatically after several weeks in. And in case that detail was lost, this storyline also runs on a calendar system, with events that happen every week. This requires you to be on top of your training and ensuring that your mercenary group is in tip-top shape, or else your trade routes stay in limbo. Thankfully, a brand new assist feature was added to this portion of the game. With this feature, you're able to select trained characters from Elysium to assist in battles, providing additional support and tactical advantages in challenging encounters. This is a bit of a change from the norm, as you could only initially bring in 3 characters from the gacha portion of the game when you start Spiral of Destinies. And you'll need them, because there are a lot of challenging encounters. There's this one trial that has you gathering 3 patches of herbs scattered around the map while outmaneuvering a horde of wolves that just feels impossible, especially with only 4 people. To my surprise, I realized that if I had only assigned the maximum number of people to said caravan, which was 2, I could have had 5 people to control during that battle. So when you play this storyline, make sure you've got escorts for all of your caravans. It's through this lens that I recall someone asking me if Sword of Convallaria is grindy. And let me just say this new storyline is going to test your tactical RPG brain in ways that I've never thought possible. One of my favorite battles has to be one where you're not only asked to defend a set of crates from brigands, but also requires you to have one character positioned at a table so that negotiations can continue. This, and many others like it, show the cleverness of the developers' designs. But that praise doesn't mean that these battles are easy, of course. Playing Sword of Convallaria means being attentive to your party's composition, making good use of the environment, and ensuring that you're not just strategic on the battlefield, but also outside of it as well. This game rewards smart players, not grindy players like myself, who know its combat and characters well. It won't just let you win just because you've got powerful characters, as these same heroes can get decimated in a few hits. And let me tell ya, I tried using auto battle for the first time while playing through this storyline, and it just does not compare to the satisfaction of choosing the right moves and positioning your characters yourself. And to think that, once again, Sword of Convallaria just came out a little over a month ago. This new storyline featuring the Eleman is super fun and challenging, with its narrative engaging. I love seeing characters from the other stories present in this one, while building on top of the lore of the game itself. And I've said it before, but the framing of the story through commerce is something that definitely got me hooked from the beginning. This is all backed up by improved localization that, while there's still a few points here and there that need adjustments, the story reads a lot better when compared to the rest of the storylines. That said, the developers are dedicated to making sure that every facet of Sword of Convallaria is up to a high standard that everyone can enjoy for a long time. And the added layer on top with the trading post gameplay is a fun consideration that I didn't expect them to add. While I would stop short in calling it a game in and of itself, this update feels hefty. And for the price of free, it's a very generous update that shakes things up a bit. And I've been told that this isn't the only update that we'll be seeing this year as well. The devs are planning to release a new storyline by the end of the year, and the devs have constantly been in communication with their community to ensure that Sword of Convallaria is truly a game deserving of your attention and time. Anyways, I want to know what you think of the new Trading Post gameplay and the new challenges that await you in battle in this new Sword of Convallaria update. Post your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. But of course, we've only been talking about the latest update in this video, and if you've never even heard of this game and were curious to see what it's about by watching this video, then I've got you covered. So if you want to learn more about Sword of Convallaria, I have 2 other videos that you might be interested in. The first one covers my initial impressions during its closed beta, while the other is a compiled Q&A sent in by JRPG fans with answers based on my own experience with the game, as well as replies from the devs themselves. You'll find them all right here, so go check them out. Download Sword of Convallaria using the link in the description or the pinned comment, so that they'll know that I sent you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.